Our man Christian Horner, team principal of Red Bull Racing, is going nowhere, and you can take that one to the bank. He'll be here this year, 25 and 26. And here's how you know. Google Drive to Survive, courtesy allegedly of one Jos Verstappen, has massively backfired in the court of public opinion. Journos are asking questions. What's with the timing of the sending? How come the independent investigation exonerated Horner? And now we get this, the content of the WhatsApp messages, the ongoing dialogue even. Why was Christian Horner typing? Is this entrapment even? If it looks and feels and smells like a setup, you've got to ask the question. Indeed, it feels like the bulk of the media have mischaracterised the investigation and the root cause of it. And now that the accuser's name is out there in the open, legal proceedings surely are pending or conspicuous in their absence. What does this mean? And for the avoidance of doubt, Christian Horner still has the backing of the 51% Red Bull Group owner, the Tayuvidia family. And without their say-so, the chief executive officer of Red Bull Racing is going nowhere. And speaking of the Yavidi family, they've been asking questions about how fit for purpose it is that F1 Technologies ultimately rolls up to Red Bull Group. Surely it makes more sense if the apex predator of products is the energy drink to siphon this off, to keep that separately. And the question then is, who heads that up? The rumour being that Christian Horner attempted to levy British financiers with a view to buy Red Bull Racing. Oh, and all this without the knowledge of the Austrians being Oliver Mintzlaff and Mark Mateschitz. And this then, reports speculate, is the genesis story of the power struggle that we're seeing play out before us. One thing though is for sure, that Horner and the Uvida family are sat on a completely different side of the fence to Salzburg, Verstappen's and Marko. And just Verstappen, for the avoidance of doubt, made his feelings clear at qualifying on Friday at the Bahrain Grand Prix, having an argument with Christian Horner, the ramifications of which are still unwinding. Just Verstappen, for example, won't be in attendance at the next Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia, choosing instead to keep a low profile. But he's not walking back the statements that he's made that's caused all the disruption, undermining the very leadership tapestry of his son's boss, team principal Christian Horner. But videos leaked showing the warmth with which the Red Bull Racing team greeted Christian Horner, how they welcomed and congratulated him on the back of the victory this past weekend. And I think with everything that's happened hitherto, the leaks, the messages, the accusations, the independent investigation, that warmth, that working culture and that cohesiveness that endures, that has to matter. So let's roll this forward then. If Horner's not leaving, then how can Max stay? Because the relationship between Horner and the Verstappens is fractured irrevocably. And how do we know this, you ask? Well, we know this because Mohammed bin Sulayem, the head of the FIA for now, has asked Max Verstappen to come out and support Christian Horner without caveats. And that's problematic on a few fronts. Firstly, it's not even your place, Mohammed bin Sulayem, to do that. Firstly, is it even your place, MBS, to be managing Red Bull's PR? Or should you be leaving that to them? They have people to do that. This smells like the latest in a very many overstepping incident, courtesy of the head of the FIA. And secondly, Max Verstappen, the three-time champion, is nothing if not his own man. He's made it clear that he's going to say what he's going to say, and he has said it, no more or no less. But there is an added wrinkle to this story, and that comes in the form of Max Verstappen's contract. Per reports today, Max has a break clause effective immediately in the event that Helmut Marko either leaves or retires. The humanity. Toto's ears are pricking up as we speak. And with the likes of Fernando Alonso, Alex Albon, Carlos Sainz Jr. and now Max Verstappen all on the table, Toto Wolff of Mercedes says that he has no plans to rush his decision. So to make this clear for the avoidance of doubt, if Helmut Marko leaves, Max Verstappen can do or go where he pleases. And as if we needed any further evidence or reports to start up the speculation wagon, it breaks that Toto Wolff and Jos Verstappen were seen and snapped having conversations at the Bahrain Grand Prix. And I say all that to say this, Max Verstappen in a Mercedes in 2025 could be a thing. Outrageous, right? Almost as outrageous as thinking of Lewis Hamilton in a red car as soon as 2025. Who knew? The ramifications then of this Shakespearean play that is the Red Bull Racing power struggle that's playing out before our eyes will be game-changing, era-defining. And in other news, Mohammed bin Sulayem, the head of the FIA, has been overstepping again. Somebody please advise that guy of his remit, the scope of his role. But that apparently is the issue. He doesn't listen to counsel nor advice. Ergo, another overstep. But this one is the subject of investigation at the hands of the FIA Ethics Committee. Serious. He's been accused of interfering with the decision-making process at Jeddah last year. And with the ink on Michael Massey's NDA still drying, this will be met with more than just consternation by millions of Lewis Hamilton fans all around the world. Secondly, he's been accused of spending too much money on the likes of private jets et al., contravening the FIA's code of conduct as far as T&E spend. Having made enemies of F1 team principals, F1 teams, the commercial rights holder and Stefano Domenicali, Mohammed bin Sulayem hopes to get re-elected in December of 2025. Good luck, mate. But what I find peculiar about this rule and reg stuff is that none of the other formula have an issue with MBS. Is this then a problem with MBS? Or a problem with F1. In other news, Liberty Media reported bumper results, reporting 3.2 billion USD as versus 2.6 last year. Year on year, an increase of 650 million. Not bad. That's in no small part due to bumper attendance numbers and more Grand Prix on the calendar, not to mention the blockbuster mainstream event that was Las Vegas. But it's not all roses and butterflies for Liberty Media, as Joe Pompliano reports that in North America, viewing figures are down 10% last year. And with the demolition that was the Bahrain Grand Prix already in the books, you can only extrapolate that downside into 2024. And in other news, Alpine, well, just being Alpine after a disastrous Bahrain Grand Prix where Gasly and Ocon were nowhere to be seen, and they had to endure the embarrassment of having Red Bull help them cool the car in the pit lane. Yet more key personnel are leaving, this time technical director Matt Harmon and head of aerodynamics Dirk de Beer. And I mean, at this rate of churn, I wouldn't expect any victories this year from the team from Enstone. Only in a world as weird and wacky as F1 could the news cycle outdrag the Bahrain Grand Prix in the ever more competitive race for attention dollars. Like and subscribe.